Hey, welcome back everybody. Alright, good morning everybody. Another nice day out here at the hangar. Definitely not making any noise today. We got some other stuff to take care of inside there. I got some stuff to deal with batteries. Big question I need to answer, and this came from last week's comments on that video where we ran the right engine, is when we do afterburner runs, what exactly do we do with the airplane? Well, that's a great question, and happy to answer that. So when it comes to doing an afterburner run, we got two ways of doing it. One, we can do a high-speed taxi, which we get her ready to go. It's almost exactly like launching her out for real. That's, you know, call tower and everything. We end up go ripping down the runway, but never to take off. It's just go high speed down the runway, make sure everything's good with the afterburners, deploy the chute, and slow down, come back, and that's a good solid test there. That tests all sorts of things other than the afterburners, you know, brakes, chute, making sure everything is working as intended. So that's one way of doing it. Second way, and this is something that we have available at this airfield, so Ellington Airfield here on the south side of Houston, KEFD. We have, since this was an old air base, there's some things here out on the main ramp area. There is a tie-down anchor of sorts that you can anchor in aircraft to, and being able to throttle up the engines and not have the airplane go anywhere. So we have that here. Remember, F4s used to be based here at the 147th Texas Air National Guard. There's F-16s here now, and there's probably other stuff that was here over the years, but yeah, F-4s used to be stationed here, so there's still some things here that we get to take advantage of because of that fact, like the tie down. Unfortunately, I don't, to get out there, I'd have to coordinate that ahead of time with airport ops, so more than likely we'll be able to see that when we take the airplane out to go do that. So let me show you exactly how we do this. All right, the key piece to this involves that tail hook right there. So that anchor tie down point that's out on the ramp, we maneuver the aircraft with the tugs, we drop the hook, we don't catch that tie down, we have to use some pretty stout cables that go around that tie down that the hook can actually catch. And what we do is, once the hook is down and engaged with those cables, and I'll show you the cables here in a minute, we'll take tension on those cables and then shock the wheels. So now everything is ready, so that helps minimize aircraft movement when we're putting, what's that, somewhere around 17, I'm just going off memory, about 17,000 pounds of thrust out of the engine when it's in full afterburner. And that's ×2. Now normally we only do one engine at a time when we do that, not both. So that's the key piece of this, and again, this airfield gives us that advantage. If we were anywhere else that didn't have that option, we would not be able to do that. So let me go show you the cables. All right, so here we are in the F4's previous home, which we call Hangar 3. Remember, she moved a couple hangars down after her appearance at Lone Star. But here, these are the cables that we use, and I don't know, it's hard to get size across on a video sometimes, so let me get in close. I'll use my iPhone as a size reference as to how thick these things are. So those are pretty dang stout. Those are an inch and a quarter thick diameter cables. And that anchor point that's out there is what's visible on the surface is only the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. There's a substantial amount of concrete in that steel beam that goes pretty deep into the ground that allows us to use stuff like this. This gets looped around that anchor point, and then we catch it with the tail hook, like I said, and that allows us to firmly anchor the aircraft down so we can safely throttle her up into afterburner and have her not go anywhere. So that's the basic process in a nutshell, and some of the stuff that we have in order to accommodate tests like that. I'm really hoping this happens soon for us, because I'm gonna love to see that, and I know you guys will too. So that's that process in a nutshell. All right, guys, got a quick airplane update for some of the other airplanes in our collection. I know some of you guys have seen this before, our ME-262, and if you're new here, we have an ME-262, and it's currently down for maintenance. We got a few things to do to it, and you notice that the F-Force jacks are holding this up is because we had to service the, not the accumulator, the actuator, thank you. That actually makes the gear go up and down. So the one here on the left-hand side leaks, and we fixed that. We did a gear swing with using this generator and that hydraulic cart over there and swung the gear. And when we did, found the right-hand side was doing the same thing. So anyway, we got Christopher here to give a quick update on this one.
Yeah, just like Jamie was saying, when we got that one out, resealed, learned some lessons in pulling it out. It's not the most straightforward thing to get those actuators out of your landing gear. You have to like raise them halfway and maneuver them around and everything to get them out. But we got it out and got it resealed. Got the new one, it got resealed, got it put back in, and during the gear swings, we noticed it dripping from the other side, and I think we didn't notice it on the ground before because it leaks more aggressively when the gear was up. So we pulled it out real quick, and it is now in the process of being resealed, and hopefully we can get it done pretty quick now that we've learned some lessons in getting it in and out of the aircraft.
Because that's not a job we do on a routine basis.
Exactly. You know? So we're hoping to get that one done so we can get this one sealed back up and back in the air again real quick.
Yeah, this is always a fun one to see fly. And on that subject, I have a playlist on the channel that has this highlighted. So I can't remember which side it ends up. You'll see a link here up in the one of the corners that'll take you to that playlist. And if you guys want to see more of this, have at it. So awesome. And I think we got another aircraft to go see, so let's go jump over there.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're standing on the wing now of the F-100 Super Sabre, which has a small issue that we're working towards. So
it was time for the 100-hour on the jet, so we're getting that in process. But it also had a leaky rat accumulator. The rat opens up right here into the door right here, and two doors down into the intake. That if you were to lose your hydraulic pump to the flight control systems, it pops open and provides pressure to the #2 flight control system, so you can continue to fly while you work either from an engine flame out or whatever happened to the airplane. But it had a small leak in that accumulator that opens those doors, so we are replacing it with a rebuilt one. It's quite a job. The accumulator goes down in that hole right there and is covered with a whole mess of lines that you see down there. We labeled them all so that we can know how the spaghetti goes back together when we put it in, because the manual is oh so helpful. In the description of taking it out, it says disconnect lines from accumulator and remove any other necessary hydraulic lines to facilitate removal of the accumulator.
Pretty big.
At least it could say good luck at the end, but it doesn't. That's exactly what it says. So it was quite a task, but we got it out. We got the new accumulator. We're going to switch all those fittings over to the new one and hopefully get it in here pretty quick.
Nice.
And then we can continue on with the rest of the 100 hour.
Nice. And then that's not a normal ram air turbine. That one, it doesn't deploy out like it does on the F4.
No.
It stays inside, so there's a duct that feeds air to it.
There's two doors inside the intake right in front of the engine that open up like this. And then this one pops up. That's the exhaust side right here. And there's ram air coming through the intake. Drives the turbine inside there that drives the little hydraulic pump that supplies pressure to the number 2 flight control system.
That's really neat. Hopefully we can get a shot of that one.
At some point there's a test you can do on a shutdown where I'll push a button on the side there to test and as the engine winds down, there's a centrifugal switch in there that in flight, if you were to have a flame out, it would auto deploy the rat, that you can bypass that so that as the engine winds down, it automatically will deploy the rat doors, and you can test them and ensure that they're working appropriately.
Neat. Love to see that one day.
Yep.
Awesome. Then I think we got one more aircraft to go look at, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna go take a look at the A4 over at Lone Star.
All right, so let's go do it. All right, so here we are at our A4. Unfortunately, 518 is no longer here. That got sold. So as far as A4s go, ours is the only one here at the airfield. And quick update, so this one still flies.
Yep, this one, no particular issues going on with it right now. She's flying good. In fact, we have a couple events coming up in the next few months. September 6th and 7th, we'll be at the Midland Airshow in Midland, Texas to do a display there. And then on October 4th and 5th, the weekend of 4th and 5th, we'll be in Tyler, Texas for the Rose City Airfest for a couple days for that. That's a really good air show. It supports a organization called Camp B that is a support organization for veterans and their families, you know, during and after service. So for a real good cause there. So we're excited to be able to take this one out and get it on public display for a couple of shows later this year.
Awesome. And then hopefully for Wings Over Houston, hopefully too.
Yeah, we'll see. Haven't told us exactly what they want to do there, but yeah, we'll see, and they'll all be available. So.
Yep. And yeah, because I don't think the schedule's set firmly yet. So just like always.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's the A4, and that's the aircraft update for our 4 main flyers. So back to the hangar. All right, so here we are at the Dash 60. Here's those brand new batteries that we put in. They're currently charging right now. One of the things we got to do is I'm going to find a way to put this in here, likely on this panel. What this is a battery switch to turn the batteries on and off, because we think there's something going on. So like if it's not on charge, the batteries do discharge slightly. So something is staying energized when it probably shouldn't. And that's going to be very hard to track down. So rather than mess with all that, we're just going to put a kill switch in it and turn the battery, like actually switch the batteries off just so they don't discharge and end up with us with a cart that won't start because the batteries are dead. We don't want that, so I'm going to find a way to put this in. Probably break one of these lines, and all it is just, you just wire it up and mount it and you're done. So let's get this going. All right, so I'm gonna have to rethink this a little bit because I don't have my big set of crimpers on me. And I have to break that wire in order to put these in. So that, and I need to find my, I got a uni bit so I can knock a hole into this plate of the right diameter and mount that. So I'm gonna plan this out a little bit better rather than just put this thing in as fast as I can. So yeah, more than likely I'm going to knock a hole right about there. It gives enough room on the backside to hang the switch, and then plenty of room for, because I got to cut this cable, trim each end, and then crimp on those new lugs. We'll get it. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do that to this, and then yeah, this thing. I got to do the same thing to the mule. This one's going to be a little different though. Because the battery is, I think, inside this door. Yes. So I gotta find a place for this one. which I don't have a plate or anything to mount it, but since this thing lives inside predominantly, probably knock a hole right here in the sheet metal and hang the switch right here so you can access it from the outside, because all your cables are right there. That should probably work pretty good. Alright guys, that about wraps up our day here at the hangar. It's getting about midday and it's definitely getting hot in here. So with that, thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.